Hello there, Panda Bears, and welcome to Storytime. Today we will be reading The Legend of Spooky, the Square Pumpkin. Have you ever seen a square pumpkin before, Pandas? All right, please tell me the parts of the book. What part is this? You got it, front cover. What about this? Spine. We turn the book around. Back cover, you're right. It says one day in the pumpkin patch, the strangest little pumpkin hatched. Spookly the square pumpkin was different. All the other pumpkins teased him until Spookly proved that being different can save the day. Aw, I love that. Okay, if we open up our book, we have, this book came with a fun CD. Yes, that plays a couple little songs, and it has a little message for the reader. I'm going to read in a second. We have our title page. It has, look at the same picture as our front cover. There's the front cover. There's the title page, and it says written and created by Joe Troiano, illustrated by Susan Banta, a Holiday Hill Farm book. Okay, let's take a look. Go back a tiny bit. And it says, Dear reader, one Halloween night when my son Nicholas was very young, he asked me to tell him a bedtime story. He didn't want it to be scary. He wanted it about pumpkins. The story I made up that night, Spookly, the Square Pumpkin, became the book you are about to read. That was many years ago. My son Nick is now grown, and Spookly's story has been read by many children since it was published. The most important copy, of course, is the one you are holding in your hands. I hope you enjoy reading it as much as I enjoyed telling it to Nick that Halloween night a long, long time ago. And then it's signed Joe, who is the author. Very nice. I love it when we learn a little bit about why the author wrote this story and a little bit of history behind it. Isn't that neat? It also has a dedication. We've seen other books during our story times that have dedications. This book is dedicated to my endless source of inspiration and joy, my son, Nicholas. And so the author also dedicated this story to his son. Very nice. All right, let's begin reading. One day in the pumpkin patch, the strangest little pumpkin hatched. Spookly wasn't like his friends. Where they had curves, he had ends. Spookly was different. He was odd. He was rare. Spookly the pumpkin wasn't round. He was a square. Now, think about that. We might go to a pumpkin patch and we see different types of pumpkins. Some are different colors, but most of them are what? Round, right? Where they have curves, this pumpkin had ends. Even this one is kind of shaped like a rectangle, but it has smooth sides, right? Okay, see, all these pumpkins are different. Different colors, different shapes, different designs, different spots. While the round pumpkins had fun rolling along, poor Spookly sat there, shaped all wrong. He tried and tried with all his might, but he couldn't budge. He just sat tight. The other pumpkins teased him because he was square. Spookly wished he was round and could roll everywhere. That is, until one night when they all discovered it's fine to be round when the weather is fair, but there are times it's better to be square. Halloween was just a day away when a mighty storm blew across the bay. It tossed the round pumpkins to and fro. It snapped their vines, then off they'd go, bouncing left, slamming right, banging, bashing. What a sight! Spookly sat there filled with fright, but glad to be a square that night. Because he was a square, he didn't bounce and roll around, right? Oh, I love these illustrations. Beautiful. Suddenly, the fence gave way. 3 pumpkins rolled out and into the bay. Spookly knew what must be done. It was up to him. He was the one. He teetered, he tottered, he tipped, he tried, he finally flipped. He was on his side. Again he tipped, again he flopped, again he flipped, and then he stopped right in the gap where the fence had snapped. He blocked the way. The hole was capped. See, he's right there in the hole. All the pumpkins shouted, hooray! Spookly the square pumpkin had saved the day. Then a pumpkin hit him with a whack. He thought his shell would start to crack. Then another one hit him with a thump, and another one with a smack. He thought he was going to crack. Then one by one, a ton of pumpkins piled on the stack. With a bang and a bash and a crunch and a crash. And then it all went black. See, they're all on top of Spookly. Where's Spookly? At dawn, when the storm had stopped, the farmer came out and checked his crop. He picked his pumpkins up one by one and laid them out in the warm, dry sun. And when the last was moved away, the farmer could see what had saved the day. An odd-shaped pumpkin, short and dense, was wedged against the broken fence. Right there. Its shell was bruised, its stem was too, but there was brave little Spookly sitting straight and strong and true. Right then and there, the farmer knew. Of all the seeds he had ever sown, Spookly's were the most special that had ever grown. And the next year, when it was time to sow, he sowed those seeds in every row. He watered and weeded and watched them grow. And oh, that morning about mid-June, when the pumpkin patch began to bloom, there were tiny pumpkins everywhere. Hundreds and hundreds, most of them square. But look at the illustrations. Look at all the pumpkins. Some were cubes and some rectangular. Some were flat and others triangular. Lots of shapes. There was a bed of bright red ones and 2 rows of blue. There were polka dotted pumpkins and rainbow ones too. There were thousands of colors and hundreds of shapes. Oh, what a garden variety makes. Look at all those different pumpkins, different shapes, different colors. Wow, beautiful. Now, every year on Halloween, Spookly's patch is quite a scene. People come from far and near to see the wonders. that grew that year. They stop, they gawk, they gaze, they stare. They pick a pumpkin that's round, triangular, or perfectly square. They love all the different pumpkins. Now you know the story of how Spookly grew. Maybe someday you'll tell someone too, and they'll go tell someone who go tell another, and maybe one day we'll all discover you can't judge a book or a pumpkin by its cover. Aw, I love that message. And look at the back pages. Lots of spookly fun. All right, Panda Bears, thank you so much for joining us for the legend of Spookly, the square pumpkin. I hope when you go out to the pumpkin patch, you find whatever pumpkin you are looking for, whether it's round, triangular, rectangular, if it's big, if it's small. All these pumpkins are awesome, fantastic, and wonderful, just like you. All right, pandas, make it a great, great day, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.